The YouGov profiler states that the average reader is an 18 to 20-year-old female, which I'll definitely agree with. Although older people could read and enjoy this magazine, the themes that are present would probably not appeal to them as much as they would to an 18-year-old. The same goes for younger people, as although they would probably feel grown up reading it, they wouldn't fully understand some of the issues talked about. The price of a single magazine is around £1 to £2 per issue, which is relatively cheap compared to Top of the Pops, which is £3.99, and Vogue, which is £4. This suggests a middle-class audience, as they won't have much disposable income to spend on high-end magazines, but still have enough to afford buying one in the first place. This is also true for the aged magazine cases too, as again, there'll probably be students that are living in their first house and won't have a lot of disposable income. According to the YouGov profiler, Cosmopolitan's average reader lives in London. London is considered to be one of the greatest fashion capitals in the world, so it's unsurprising that people that are most interested in fashion and beauty live in the city. Although the average reader is suggested to be working to middle class, their interest and lifestyle depicts someone of much higher class. For example, the YouGov profiler states that one of their favourite sports is horse racing, which is typically considered to be a high-class sport because of how expensive it is to own a horse. This could be because, although they aren't necessarily of high class, they are constantly reading about celebrities and socialites who are of a high social class and want to have a life as much like them as possible. It also states that their top 3 favourite clothing brands are Topshop, New Look and La Senza. These aren't the most expensive brands on the market, but they are considered to be posher than shops like Primark or Select, which again further exemplifies the working to middle class social status of the readers. Everything that is ever produced has a set of codes and conventions that you would typically see from it. For example, a girly sleepover magazine would most likely include bubble writing and pictures of Ariana Grande in cat ears or something, and it's all very samey. This magazine is no different, with language such as best sex ever and it's 6 o'clock being the focal point of the front cover. It is made clear that you should expect a lot of articles to be on that theme, and when you look inside, the articles really do meet your expectations. They even have a whole section in most issues, and especially online, on erotic novels for women, and this is something that you would expect the target audience to want to read about. As well as the linguistic elements, the pictures used in the magazine are mainly just of celebrities, clothes and beauty products, and even just on the front page there's always a picture of a current celebrity put there to entice the reader into picking it up off the shelf, like this picture of Lucy Hale. She looks beautiful and is a massive star at the moment, especially at the time of publishing, so it'll definitely influence the reader to buy it. Cosmopolitan is just a women's beauty magazine, so it doesn't really subvert expectations. There is a lot of these beautiful celebrities on each cover, as that is pretty much one of the only reasons why people buy the magazine. To sum up the codes and conventions, there is a heavy focus on current celebrities, emojis and social media, which is definitely what you would expect from an early adults fashion magazine. This magazine is very slang orientated, with emojis and oh my gods being almost on every front cover. This makes me think the magazine would have a voice like, oh my god girl, have you seen this? And it would be very breast friendly and almost sisterly in a way, which again helps build the relationship with their young target audience. Cosmopolitan is definitely created with a commercial mainstream audience in mind, with the most obvious example being the most current celebrity, or the most relevant of that month, being on the front cover of each issue, as that is what the majority of people will be talking about and interested in that month. Also, the content is usually quite vague. There's usually pictures of clothes and accessories, which are always from Topshop or New Look. These are very mainstream choices that appeals to pretty much everyone. If you compare it to, say, an Anglia magazine that is a very niche audience, so it's easy to see Cosmopolitan as a mainstream magazine. Although I think everyone has their own way of seeing things and we have the knowledge and freedom to make our own decisions about things, it is obvious that media such as Cosmopolitan tries to interplay the audience into thinking with their ideologies. For example, if someone in the public eye was having a dispute with their label or someone above them, it would only take one of these magazines to publish a bad story about them, and all the readers will suddenly see them in a different light, and it could even lead to their careers being ruined. This type of media, especially fashion magazines such as Cosmopolitan, influence us to believe that we should all look a certain type of way. After looking through an issue, there were only a few plus-size models used, and even then they were only around a size 10 to 12, which in the modelling industry is considered to be plus-size, but people in the real world don't agree with that. We are subconsciously being told to think that we should all look like Lucy Hale or Kendall Jenner or someone of that sort every time we pick up this magazine, which could be detrimental to girls and our society as a whole.